Hi there guys, welcome to this video on how to solve equations, but we're going to add another layer on again, expanding brackets. And that's a skill you should be really happy with now. So all we're going to do is take solving two-step equations and expanding brackets, just put them together. So nothing to be afraid of if you've understood those two things. But I'm going to take it slow and treat it as if this is the first time you've ever seen it anyway. So we have a solve, which basically means solve the mystery, find out what this value of x is. But we have an x on the left and we have an x on the right, so that's going to cause us some problems and we're going to get them all over to one side. But before we can do that, we have this bracket to deal with. So let's go ahead and expand this bracket, because that's what we do with brackets, we multiply them out. And we're going to say it's 3 lots of this first term and 3 lots of this second term here. So 3 lots of 2x, that's 6x, 3 times 2 is 6, and we just pop the letter on. We hide the multiplication sign, and 3 lots of 4 is 12. Now there's actually nothing to expand on this side, so I'm just going to write it again. So all I've done is I've seen a bracket, I've expanded it, because that's what I do when I see a bracket. Okay, so this equal sign means this left hand side and this right hand side are equal to one another, so what I do to one side I have to do to the other. And we're trying to get it down to look like x equals. Okay, so we've got 4 terms. We need to get this down to 3 terms. But not just any 3, we want just the x's on one side. So if we look at these x's, we have 6x and we have 4x. The right hand side has the least, so let's get rid of those. So that's minus 4x to both sides. Doing that, I will end up with 2x plus 12. Nothing's happening here. We're not taking any number terms. And we'll be left with 24 because the 4x is going to disappear. So now we've successfully got it down to 3 terms. What side are the letters on? Well, our x term is on the left, which means the number terms, these two, need to be on the right. 24 is there, so we'll leave it. The 12 is not in the right place, we need to move that. So let's take away 12 to both sides, keeping it equals, keeping it balanced, and we will end up with 2x is equal to 12. Now if 2x is a 12, I think you know 1x is 6, but to get there what we're doing is we are dividing by 2. So this is what I want your working to look like. So 4 terms to 3 terms to 2 terms, that was last lesson. But we've also got this added layer on top. So we're going to do a few of these and then just down to you guys to practice. So here's another one. This time the bracket's on the right hand side. So there's nothing to do on the left, there's no like terms to add, so I'm just going to write those. So 4x plus 48. And I see a bracket, I'm going to expand it. We want 4 of this bracket, so we're going to have 12x's plus an 8. Now we look at the x terms, which side has the most? The right hand side. So let's remove the left hand side. So let's take away 4x to remove this positive 4x. Do it to both sides. Get your equals in a nice line so you have a clear left side and a right side. And take a moment to think, what will we have? The 4x's are going to go, so we'll have 48. The 12x take away 4x, that's going to give us 8x. And we're going to have an 8 left over because we're not doing anything to it. Okay, so the letters this time, the x term is on the right. I keep saying letters because this could be anything. It could be an M, it could be an N, a Z. X is our favourites. We love X's in Mathland. But it's on the right, so this number term here is in the wrong place. So let's take away 8 to get rid of it. But let's do that to both sides to keep it equals. So we'd have 8x on the right and we'd have 40 on the left. So how are we going to get that down to a single x? Divide by 8 because we have 8 of them. And we get x to be 5. It doesn't matter that it's written around this way. Doesn't matter at all. So 4 terms to 3 terms to 2 terms to solve with this extra bit on the top. Okay, now we have 2 brackets. So we're just going to do that. Expand them. The left hand side, write it down. Expand the right hand side, write it down. Pause the video, have a go if you want to. So 4 of this bracket, so we can have 8. We have a negative here. So 4 lots of minus 3, that's minus 12, and we have an x. 5 lots of 1 is 5, and 5 lots of negative x is minus 5x. So, which side has the least? It's actually the left-hand side. Lots of people think it's the right, but here's negative 12 x's, that's quite a few below 0, and this only has 5 below 0, so it's only minus 5. So we need to remove the x's from the left, and to do that, we're going to have to add 12 to make it a 0. That's going to cancel out now. If I took away, I'd actually have minus 24. So we have to add 12x to both sides. What will that look like? Well, on the right, I'm just going to be left with 8. On the left, I'm going to be left with 8, and on the right, I've got 5 plus 7x. Now, the x's are on the right, so any number terms needs to go. So let's take away 5 to get rid of it. Pop my equals. I have 3 on the left and just 7x on the right. So you can see this is a non-friendly. These are not factors and multiples. But we have to think about it. So if we have 7x's, to get to 1, I'm going to divide by 7 whether this is a multiple of 7 or not. So I'm still going to put divide by 7. And just take your time. We have 3 divided by 7. That's it. So even when it's a non-friendly, it's still really easy. That bit. Okay, last one. And then I'm going to show you a Supermega learner one. Just for those that are loving this topic. Not for everyone. So, 6 of these, so we're going to have 12x plus 18, and just 2 of these ones, so we have 6x plus 10. Okay, the most x's are on the left, so we're going to keep them there. We need to get rid of this 6 over here, so that's minus 6x to both sides. Pop my equals in a line. 12x take away 6x, that's 6x. The 18 we're going to leave as it is, nothing's happening to it yet, and the same with the 10. Okay, the x's are on the left, so the numbers need to be on the right, so we need to get rid of this plus 18, and we're going to do that by subtracting it to both sides. So we end up with 6x is equal to minus 8. Now, because we've got 6 of something, to find a single value, we're going to divide by how many we have, so we're dividing by 6. So let's think about what we're going to write. We have minus 8, we're dividing it by 6. Now, always try and simplify. These are both even, so we could go to there. And one thing you'll notice is some of you may have been more tempted to do that. Now, because I've got a negative and a positive, I know that when I divide a negative and a positive, the result is going to be negative. So that's why I pull it out in front rather than write it on the top there. So that's a bit naff. Try and pull it out in front. Just think, is this answer, when I do it, going to be positive or negative? If it's going to be negative, because the signs are different, pop it in the front. If they were both negative, it would be a positive, so I wouldn't write a negative at all. Okay, so that might have been a bit difficult, but you shouldn't have too many of your answers being negative today. Right, are you ready? Supermega learner time. Look at it, it's beautiful. We've got a bracket and something else on both sides. So let's take our time. You know, you can turn off at this point if you think, I'm not doing the Supermega learner today. I'm just about got my head around this. Just crack on with the work. But if you want to, carry on listening. So 5 of this bracket, so we've got 5 lots of 2x, 10x, and 5 lots of 3, 15. But we also have this random little 2x there, so we're just going to write that down. 4 of this bracket, so 4 3s are 12, and 4 single x's, or minus 1x's, is minus 4x. But we've got a plus 2. Right, well now, when I've got loads of terms, I look to see if any are like each other. And we have x's, they're like each other, so let's collect those. So we'd have 12x plus 15. It's kind of like an expand and simplify question on top of solving. And yeah, we have some more like terms over here. We have 12 and 2. They're both number terms. The 4x is an x term. There are no other x terms. So we have 14 minus 4x. And now we're back to where we were just before. Let's look. Are there x's on both sides? Yes. The most is on the left, so that's where we're going to keep them. We need to remove the one on the right. We're going to do that by adding 4x to both sides, giving me 16x plus 15 equals 14. We now need to remove the 15 because it's on the left and the number terms need to be on the other side to the x, so let's take away 15. We get 16x's to be minus 1. And here's another example to just reiterate what I was trying to say on the previous slide. So I'm going to divide by 16 here, just to get 1x. And I can see I'm dividing a negative by a positive. I know the answer is going to be negative. And I have 1 divided by 16. That's this, SML, Supermega Learner. If you think you can handle it, have a go. It's not for everyone, it's not compulsory, it's just me having some fun. Best of luck everyone.